You're listening to Free Zone Radio. The end of the year is a time for reflection, and this year ends the way it usually does. We're all a little tired, all a little proud, and probably we're all full of stories that didn't exist back in August. Today, Maylee sits down with me and my co-teacher, Drew.
Hey, do you know what I love about radio? People don't see your face. You can be anybody you want to be. It's that theater of the mind. I can be whoever I want to be when I'm behind a microphone, right? I can be as confident as I want to. And then nobody will know when I get home I'm... What was... That's the dude from the Scarlet Letter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You don't know what you signed up for.
Poor Maylee. I need you to be funny now. Oh, God. I was going to say I need him to carry all the weight for this episode, but if that's the talent. Maylee, we talked about this book in front of the whole class yesterday. And how would you rate our performance? How would you rate our episode? Was it a 5-star episode for you?
It was a 5-star episode for me, but I feel like I looked at it differently, and then I liked it because I got to see y'all's view on it because I didn't see it the same way at first.
That's the beauty of reading.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. I think sometimes reading compared to watching a movie, that's the different experience you get. Because if we watch Star Wars, we're going to visually see the same thing. Mm-hmm. But when I'm reading, it's all created within the mind. And also I view it with that lens that we were talking about yesterday. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Reading, yeah.
So would you have given us a 5-star rating? Would you?
Have you rated my podcast?
Right.
I give it a 4.5 because Mr. Crockett didn't get to talk very much because Mr. Haston likes to spiral.
What are you talking about? On yesterday's episode?
You.
No,
Yes.
ma'am.
I told you.
Did you not literally hear me yapping during the entire thing? No.
I told you, Crockett.
That's wrong.
I told him afterwards. I
You
said,
asked
I'm
me.
sorry, I really yapped.
So would you have advocated that listeners out there should give our show a 5-star radio?
Yeah, I liked it. I would listen to it.
A 5-star rating? What would you have told Radio America that they should do to give us a 5-star rating?
Like and subscribe.
That's going to be the end of the episode.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about your hero today. So you want to go in depth and do some defending of your protagonist, Rylan Grace. Why do you feel the need to defend Rylan Grace? Have we been bad talking him?
Yes, the entire time.
Who?
Everyone, today in class, everybody was like, he's coward. I think everyone should just die. When we were talking about, is it worth living if you have to live with struggles? And they said if you have to live handicapped or crippled, and they were saying crippled like it was a slur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty harsh. I don't think that they meant it that way. And it was really good that somebody in class checked them before I could. And she said, so you would want to take that choice away from me, that if I were in that situation, you would want to make that choice for me and take away my right to live. And I was like, oh, girl, you did it. Good. I don't think that they mean to be thoughtless or not empathetic, but we had conversations about empathy and, characters like Eva Stratt are making some tough choices about how to handle planet Earth in the meantime. And when she gets called out about it and is like, yeah, but you're killing the Antarctic. You're killing the Sahara. You are altering climate on Earth. She says there'll be plenty of time to deal with that after we've saved Earth. And she knows I'll be brought up on trial. I know I will be tried for every crime in the book, but that's fine as long as there is a court and a human race to try me. We didn't really have that empathy from a lot of voices in class today about Rylan Grace, though. So what do you think? What do you want to say about it?
I mean, when they were saying that we should just give up, like when we were faced with a big problem, if we would have given up when we've been faced with every problem, I don't think we'd even be alive. Like, we'd just all be dead. Like, every single problem we faced, if the answer was always, oh, we'll just give it up, we'll just see how it plays out. Like, when they were talking about COVID, if we didn't make vaccines, if we just all didn't shut down and we were like, yeah, let's just go to Dollywood and have a grand old time at the beach, we'd be dead. Like, there would be no reason for it. And I don't think they were being, like, empathetic with seeing, like, she had to do something. Like, someone had to take charge and be like, hey, we got to do this, or these kids aren't going to be able to have a future. Like, they're going to start dying because there's not going to be any food for them.
I mean, we're talking about Strat right now, right? Mm-hmm. I think Strat is just an example of, with leadership, you've got to make those tough decisions, and sometimes I don't need to give you an explanation for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like parenting for us. When I tell my son, you need to slack off on the video games, I don't need to give you an explanation why. I know the explanation why, because I don't want the brain rot. Do you know what I'm saying? I want my kids to be doers. I actually had this conversation with my daughter last night, so I'll bring this up. We were waiting outside of Tumbling, and we were kind of talking about some of her friends are starting to get phones. And I said, Annie, you're not going to get a phone, and you're not going to get a smartphone until you're probably 18. So just be ready for that. And I don't need to explain myself to her.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? I told her, all you need to know is I'm trying to keep you safe. And that's kind of the same thing with Strat.
Right.
She's kind of saying, I'm trying to do what's best for the country. I can go on trial later. Because right now, Annie says, oh, I don't want a phone. The internet scares me. And I told her, I said, you say that now, but when you're 16, I know I'm going to be on trial, and I'm prepared to be on trial.
Yeah.
So, we have to make decisions like that as leaders and accept the consequences, because tough decisions are tough decisions, and you sometimes have to step up and do those, and people just have to deal with that.
They have to make decisions.
Yeah. A decision has
to be made.
We can't sit here and say,
right. Even if we have a committee, even if we do have a representative government, even if we do allow other input from people, somebody has to make the decision, and you can't dilly-dally about it. You can't say, well, what does the poll say? You have to make the decision. And it's not always the perfect decision, but they have to be willing to say, this was the best I could do in the moment, and we're going to live with our choices. We're going to adapt. We're going to move on.
Right.
I do think that leadership should have some accountability.
Yes.
And as the guy who was doing hall duty yesterday, and I was approached by a kid who was very unhappy that I have not been hosting game club for a while. And you promised us it would be every Wednesday, and then you were doing once a month, and now you haven't done it for 2 months in a row, and you owe me an answer, sir. On the one hand, I don't know who you are. Why are you attacking me right now?
That's not true. You knew exactly who it was.
On the other,
Well, I came looking for you yesterday in first block.
yeah.
Where's Mr. Crockett?
Right. On the other hand, okay, so power does have some accountability, and I've put these elected people into office. Summer and I were literally just having a conversation about this. Whether I voted for you or not, I participated in the process. You are my elected federal government. You are elected my governor. You are elected my state rep, my mayor. You are, in a way, accountable to me. But there's also the expectation that you're going to be making decisions without getting information from me, that I don't have input on every single thing. You have to make those choices. And I mean, ultimately, I snapped at the kid in the hallway and said, because I made that choice, and if you continue to talk to me like this, I will kill it, and it'll never happen. Did you see the look he gave me when I said it? He went, like I'd smacked him. But it was still just like, I mean, I have to make that decision. You also don't know all the things that are going on in my career, in my life. I don't have time for these things. I have to choose what I can focus my energy on and not. And I'll be accountable to those choices later. But right now, I have to make that decision.
Yeah, I feel like you also have to be strong to be a leader, though, because when she was asking him, like, do you want to go, like, out, like, give me your decision at 5, and then the other guy that was going on it, and I'm about to butcher his name so bad, but, like, Yao, or however you say it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, Yao was like, well, I don't want him going if he doesn't want to go. She didn't care. She was like, you're just going to go. I'm going to put you to sleep. And you'll just go ahead and go. And he's like, but no, he didn't want me to go. And she's like, well, I know what's best. I have to do what's going to save the world.
Man, every time when I teach The Hobbit, this same exact thing comes up. Because at the very beginning of The Hobbit, Gandalf shows up knowing who Bilbo Baggins is as a creature and is like, hey, there's a quest for you. And Baggins says, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want that. No, go away. And he goes and hides in his house. Gandalf leaves a mark on his door that is a sign to the dwarves that are coming along, a burglar's here, he lives for hire. You didn't want that quest, but I know better. I know that you are needed on this quest. You have potential. There's something inside you. I'm going to leave that mark on the door. And then even later, like Bilbo Baggins needs a lot of coaching through this, but it's because Gandalf knows you need this experience in your life, and we need you. Ryland Grace doesn't want to go. Who does want to potentially sacrifice themselves? That's the refusal of the call. But we also know what's best for you. You may not want to be in your Hogwarts team. Which one are you on? Tell the readers.
Hufflepuff.
You're a Hufflepuff. You may not want to be in that team. You may not like everybody else on that team, but you were picked for that team. And we see something inside you that is great for that team. That team needs a person like you, whether you want to be in this or not. We're making that decision because we know what's best for you right now. Parents got to do that. Teachers got to do that.
Yes.
Like sometimes we have to make those choices.
I think too, there's maturity and that comes along with that, where it's kind of like you guys have been talking about. I get dealt the hand that I'm dealt. You don't really, in life, you don't really get to say, reset. New hand. You don't get to do that though, do you?
No.
And so in this situation in the book, I mean, we're looking at potentially utter destruction.
Yeah.
And so Strat has to say, that's my number one priority. I don't really care if Ryland Grace wakes up mad at me when he's 13 light years away.
Right.
I could care less if he's mad at me. I could care less because I think Strat honestly is saying, I mean, that's, again, we talked about this yesterday. There's a reason it's called Hail Mary. I think Strat is saying, this is probably not going to work out, so what does it matter anyways? We've got to at least try.
Right. But Jennings might be in the end zone at
Dude,
the right time, and he might get it.
Look at Maylee.
You got to watch UT football, baby. You got to watch this.
The Dobbs nail boot.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, golly. We got into such a good discussion about Ryland Grace through the lens of being a teacher. And I thought if I were ever teaching a class of student teachers, if I were ever doing like an ed class for tech, I'd consider having them read Project Hail Mary through the lens of what can we learn about teaching and becoming a new teacher, because he is a teacher to his class in the beginning.
Yeah.
But he also has to learn how to communicate with Rocky. He has to learn how to walk into a new scenario. I'm going to have to eventually teach you science that you don't know, and I'm going to have to learn from you. Teaching is also learning. But there's also plenty of times I have to make a decision for this class, and y'all may not like it, and you may be angry about it. I may have done a party day and you guys were like, this is it. And it's like, you have no idea, but this was a lot and you needed this, right?
That's like when I take you guys on these conferences to THSPA and it cost us a lot of money, but I think you specifically got a lot out of it.
Oh, I started saying I liked it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know that I've seen your work post these conferences. And that makes it worth it. But there's a couple that I'll talk to and they'll be like, this was the biggest waste of my day. This was I know more than this person. And it's like, come on, you just talked to someone with USA Today, right. You know more than them, you know? Right. But yeah, like Crockett says, it is kind of like as a teacher, like, but this is supposed to be really cool and fun.
One of my favorite mentors from Tennessee Tech, Dr. Sue Ellen Alfred, She was wonderful. This old Appalachian, country Mimo of a woman, wears flannel shirts and everything. She could take a switch and go bear hunting and also tell you lore about Appalachia. Like, she was wonderful. Had a great big laugh and so insightful on how a classroom should run. My first year as a teacher, she happened to walk by my class one day. Like, she was here mentoring somebody, and she saw me, and she was like, "What, Jason Crockett?" And she came into my room, and I was having a meltdown kind of day where I was like, I quit. They are terrible. They hate everything that I'm doing. I feel like none of this is working. And Dr. Alfred had the goodness to sit in front of my desk and listen to me vent for like 30 minutes. Like, took time out of her day to listen to me. But she made a really good point of, you take all of this personal, and you can't take it personal. These kids are going to act up. These kids are going to have personal behavior whatever. They're going to have problems, and it's not a reflection of you as a person. It's the situation in front of you. And if you're the leader, you have to be able to shut that part of your heart off, not take it personal. And I know it's like, well, how do you not take something like that personal? You have to divorce yourself from the reaction of it and just say that I'm making this decision. I understand they aren't going to like it. We're at the end of the semester right now. Mm-hmm. We've got how many days? 4 more days until it's Christmas break. And Jason Crockett did what with you today? He gave 3 of you a timed essay. He made the rest of you have accountable talk. On what, are other classes showing movies today? Probably. Like, what are they going to be doing on Friday? Christmas parties and stuff. And the audacity that 4 days left, he's still making you do work. I have to turn that part of my heart off. I had a kid yesterday say to me, "Crockett, what are we doing tomorrow? Because I really don't want to be here." I really don't want to be here either. But guess what? I know I'm not changing my schedule just because you don't want to come tomorrow. Like, this is the business. Suck it up, Buttercup. Mm-hmm. Just do it. Had to be Eva's strap.
What we did today, like, I'd rather do that 1,000 times than, like, make something. Know what I mean? Like, I like hearing what other people think about stuff. I don't really like contributing.
Aw.
Because, like, well, I just like to listen to, like, what other people think. That way I can be like, wow, I didn't see it that way. Like, yesterday when y'all did the podcast, I really liked that because I didn't see it that way at first. But then I got to, like, learn a bunch of stuff about it. But I like when we do days like that because it helps me see the book better and, like, understand it more. I'd rather do that than, like, writing a bunch of stuff about it. So, like, that's my favorite kind of work.
Well, that's what we're doing right here.
Yeah. Is it boring to sit and get the whole class period? Is it boring to let everybody else talk and you listen to talk for the whole time?
No, I don't think so at all. Only time I ever get bored is when it's arguing. I like when it's talking, but when it's arguing, like, bam, 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 it doesn't even make sense. And then it's, like, not even about the book. I'm just like, wow.
So content like this is never boring. This is 5-star content. We deserve, I think you kind of owe the 5-star rating to us, right? Like, I think they need to slap like and
I'll
hit
bump
subscribe.
you up from a 4.5 to a 5.
But not me because I
No, I did not mean it like that. I'll bump you up.
Hey, if you like content like this, you should also listen to a Deadman's books.
Right.
It's also 5-star worthy.
We're Frankfurt, Germany's #1 podcast.
#1 in Frankfurt, Germany. Yeah. How do we say #1 in German? Eine. I know.
Guten Tag, meine Freude. I just gave away my intro for our podcast on Thursday, but there you go. I've been practicing that.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag, meine Freude. Hello.
Hey, Dr. Strat, she's Dutch. How would they say it? We need a fact finder.
Where's Gold member?
Gold.
You said that they thought that Rylan Grace was a coward. I'm assuming because he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of them would go either. I wouldn't either.
Okay. I think it's too nuanced of a decision to just label someone a coward. Would you agree, Crockett?
Yes.
That is too nuanced of a decision. It's kind of like we were talking about yesterday. In a sense, you're the old man who has 6 months to live, but you're also watching your cholesterol. Let me eat what I want to eat.
Right.
You know, that at the same time, like I have a limited time left on earth can I please just live it in happiness? I don't want to be isolated in space.
Right.
I don't think that that's a cowardly decision. I think that it takes a lot of, I think that that's the base decision. Would you agree?
I think it's one facet. I think it's one aspect of him at the ordinary world in the beginning of his quest. Part of him is cowardly, but it's not like the entire thing.
I think for all of us, that would probably be preset decision. I don't think anyone is like planting the flag saying,
no,
I'm going to outer. Do you know? I think that takes a lot of bravery.
Or foolishness.
Well,
or foolishness, yeah.
He was also just like chill. Like, I'm not going to say he was like normal, but he was kind of just like a normal person. Like, he was sitting in a room with all these people, and the Russian girl's like, yeah, I want heroin. And he's just like, okay, yeah. Right. And then the other guy's like, I want a gun, and I'll make sure everybody else dies too. He's like, okay, I'll note that down. Like, he's just like being like all nervous about it, which I don't think anyone would be like, yes, perfect plan, perfect choice.
Except for Strat.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
You brought up that it is nuanced. They did make a good point with it, and I can't remember. I think it might have been Sadie. I can't remember who for sure, but they were talking about how he's encountered resistance from things, and so there's plenty of times that like he avoids it. Like you think about his academic career, that he made this pretty bold argument that life beyond Earth would probably not be water or hydrogen based, and we need to expand our thinking about that. I think that's wise. I think we should, take blinders off and say it's not just going to be like this. But his scientific community rejected him, and what did he do? He withdrew into the hidey hole of the classroom. He's like the Hobbit withdrawing into the hidey hole of, no thank you, no adventures for me. That's really common to all of us, though.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's really easy as a reader to sit there and criticize the protagonist for doing that. But at the same time, I think that that's what we were talking about yesterday. If I hold that mirror up and look at myself, I'm probably going to make the same decision.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something we talked about on our very, very first episode of recording about Project Hail Mary. Is that would have been a difficult decision for me to have made, to say I'm going to leave my family. Maybe I made a mistake when I read the book of viewing my decisions with Rylan Grace because I have kids, and like we talked about, I do still think that Andy Weir did a poor job of trying to make us see the attachment to the students. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand on that one. I told Crockett that I think that what he should have done, which I think that they will do in the movie, is love interest Strat.
No, that's disgusting. No.
Well, no, but stay with me though. Like I fall in love with Strat because I work so closely with her, because conflict and turmoil sometimes brings people really close together. Yeah. Like if they're working together on something like that. So I could completely buy into a romance between the two, right? I think we're in love. She sends him away, and he's got to determine, like, am I going to go back to this love that I finally have experienced, or am I going to go save my friend?
I need to go back through the book on my third reread, and I need to pay attention to, is there ever any coded language where Weir gives us hints that there should be romantic tension between the two? Because both times I've read it, and I just assumed there was going to be a connection, right? Like on my first read, I just kind of assumed, even if he doesn't come back to Earth, like there's some romantic push-pull here. And I don't know that I have anything specific to point to about that. So was it just my assumptions, or is there like language, something? The part where she confides in him about, I don't know if I should make this decision about the coma, because like she's really, like you could see that she is really under some crippling stress in this moment, and she has to make an ugly decision, and she doesn't want to have to do it. But she opens up to Rylan Grace about it. That is vulnerability.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, these conflicts bring people closer to that could be an easy sell.
Yeah.
I do think that what I was saying is I read the lens through it as a parent, and I would be thinking, I want to spend these last few years with my family. instead of separated from them and them dying and me potentially dying or whatever. And we talked about Interstellar a lot because I think that there are a lot of parallels there.
Yeah.
Coop makes that decision to leave. And we want to think about with this, comparing the two, like, look, this is the example of bravery, Ryland Grace. Coop leaves his family to go, right?
Yeah.
But what does he do when he's in the black hole and he's looking at the bookshelf?
He slaps against it and says, "Stay, Murph, stay. Tell him to stay."
Because in the scene with his daughter, if his daughter would have ran to him and asked him to stay, he would have stayed. And so he's watching this scene play out again because have you seen the movie? It's hard to explain.
Like a long time
I feel
ago.
like it's getting into like a deep hole, but
Yeah.
in the scene, the books start randomly falling, and she's kind of piecing this code together. But then you find out at the end of the movie that it's him in a like basically another dimension.
Yeah.
Trying to tell him to stay because he's watching it through the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And he's like, so if we look at this guy and say he's so much more brave than Ryland Grace, but if he had the decision to make over again, he would have stayed.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have left.
And Ryland Grace never feels that way.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I feel like Ryland Grace was like isolated the entire time though. Like even before he went to space, there's a part in the book where it talks and it's like right after the bell rings and like the end of the school day, and he's like, well, after a few minutes all you can hear is like pitter patter of like children's feet leaving, and it's like, dang,
Yeah.
you really don't have anybody. And he's like, I might go to the break room, like get some coffee or something. Like he really doesn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah.
And then when it talks about he's at his house, it's sad. He just has like a little TV dinner in front of his TV, like.
Which he likes his mode of life because he says that he has eggs and bacon every morning because he likes eggs and bacon and I can afford it and whatever. Like he likes his mode of life. But you and I, and I'm pretty much anybody who reads it, I think we can appreciate he needs more community. That's community and family are the two words you guys kept bringing up in Accountable Talk today as something that he needs. The third one was hope and the shadow, like what he could potentially be losing or whatever. You were talking yesterday, like when we see the other dead crew members and he knows, this whole idea of you could commit suicide afterward because there's no coming back from it. They talked about that in class today, and I said, you have to distill it into a one-word idea. That's going to be our concept to wrap around. If he needs family, community, if this is all about hope, what's the opposite of motivation then? And they came up with helplessness, like this idea of just surrender, of what's the point? It's the opposite of hope, despair.
But I don't think that Ryland Grace is ever full of despair. Do you?
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing of I want to get back to people.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that, but plenty of our readers do, and plenty of people on Earth probably would as well because that's the human thing. Their whole argument of, well, I wouldn't. What's the point in even trying? Why even save Earth? The kids were saying, if you're going to cripple so much about it and Earth is not even going to be worth living on, why even bother? Yeah. That's the hopelessness. That's the despair. We have it in our hearts. So we, like Ryland Grace, need family, community. We need hope.
It's kind of like that video you and I have talked about with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's talking about Elon Musk wanting to terraform Mars because we are doing so much damage to our environment here. So let's create a new Earth.
We're going to destroy that one too.
Well, but that's the despair, isn't it? Well, we've trashed this one. We can't fix it. Instead of, like Neil deGrasse Tyson said, why don't we just try to fix what we've done here and use the Earth that we already have?
Yeah. We're never going to find, they say this in Interstellar too, when he's like, well, it's never going to be Earth. And Anne Hathaway's character looks at him and says, no, we're never going to find an Earth out there. You're never going to find it better than you've got here. So fix what you've got here. Even if we also have to think on a long enough timeline, Earth, geologically speaking, has been through numerous extinction level events. Like that happens periodically in this cycle of circles and growth that we've gone through these extinction level events. Even if Earth in the book is about to go through another one, it doesn't mean everything has to be completely lost. Things just are never going to be the same ever again. We have to accept that. But life, to quote Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
Right.
Life finds a way.
I think something you were talking about, though, which again made it a hard sell for me with his students, is like you were saying, he was always alone. When we walked in here, you had a student talking to you at your desk.
Mm-hmm.
If you come into my class, I feel like I'm almost drowning in students. They're surrounded by my. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that I'm not trying to boast, but there's a connection that we've been able to make with our students that I would consider you all if I was sent on this mission.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't. There was a couple times where Rylan Grace would be like, "Oh, I thought that this student was brilliant," or "I thought that this student could be something." That was it. Yeah. There was no like pouring into. There was no like, "Hey, if you like this book, you read this book," or why don't you try this book out? Why don't you expand into this? And here's a job opportunity. Why don't we? Do you know what I'm saying? There was none of that really. So it was just that was just a hard. That's my biggest issue with Rylan Grace's character is I don't think that his foundation was formed correctly.
But I think at the end it made more sense. Like, this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. I'm glad he stayed on the planet with Rocky.
Yeah.
Because he actually had a friend. Like he got to teach again. He had no one on Earth. You were really mean to him.
Yeah. And maybe that's the way that I should be viewing it is, I keep looking back home at Earth, but again, that's what I keep saying. It's my kids, my lens. But that was his connection, wasn't it? Was Rocky. I have to go and save the only thing that matters to me, person or alien. The only thing that matters to me, the person that cared about me the most, the person that I connected with the most was this alien, which that's an hour-long podcast in itself, isn't it? Someone that is completely different than me, I have connected with, and that's what I want to go back and save.
Yeah.
And I think that if that could have been painted maybe a little bit, maybe that's what Weir was trying to do with the lonely dinners and the lonely classrooms and the lonely bedrooms and the no friends on, Strat's drugged me. We think that there might be a connection, but clearly there's not really one. She sends him off, right? So I don't know.
Well, we brought that up in class today too, that even in those committee meetings on board the vessel or wherever that Strat's people are meeting, so often Rylan Grace doesn't feel like he belongs among them. He's surrounded by people who are always holding him at arm's length.
Yeah.
The academic community thinks you're a fool.
Yeah.
And the military people think you're silly. You're not even on our level. The leaders, the decision makers are like, this guy? Like, so often he doesn't feel like he is welcome in that group. So he's isolated on Earth.
Yeah.
And he's isolated in space.
Yeah.
But having that connection with Rocky, that's something worth fighting for. And I said, I know this is going to sound real education preachy here, but that's why we teach English. That's why we teach reading of these novels. It's never about, oh, well, I read a cute book about an alien. That was real fine. It's like we're looking at ourselves. Yeah. He says holding a mirror up to us. And that's true. We sit through classes of the humanities because you all need to experience with real accountable talk what it means to be human. Because aside from that, you're just out there on TikTok, or we all are just out there on our devices, and things are descending into incivility. Summer and I were literally just talking about that. You were literally just talking about that. You love listening to the exchange of ideas. You hate listening to the argument. And that's so much of what we find out there. People who are throwing the F word at each other, whether you're wearing a red hat or a blue shirt, or you're left or right or old or young or whatever. It's just like, bah, 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 bah. People are descending into incivility. But if you have empathy for other people, people are worth fighting for, and people are worth sacrificing for. Like, it is more than just your one family. I made this point that the Nazis were never being human. There's no way that humans could put people into extermination camps and be okay with that. There's no way you can round up people, that you can perpetrate these crimes upon other humans and be okay with that. That's just the ape. That's the animal acting. But learning to develop empathy for other people means that people are worth fighting for. Their experiences matter too.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of big messages and big things in the book that we kind of overlooked. Like the way that he connected with Rocky, it wasn't just like, oh, yeah, we're connected. It was the fact that they had to, like, learn how to talk to each other and had to, like, learn what they meant, like, by saying stuff. And it was like, wow, we're both different, but, like, you're the person that I love the most.
Yeah.
And they just feel like we just really overlooked that. And it was just like, well, alien best friend.
I wish you had brought that up more during class. This was great.
Yeah.
This is what they needed to hear, buddy.
That's a podcast in itself, talking
Yeah.
about that aspect of, I mean, it's completely different than him, right?
Yeah.
There's no chance that we're going to get along, but they find a way. And Rocky saves Ryland Grace once.
Yeah.
Yeah. They save each other's lives.
Willing to
Yeah.
sacrifice themselves. The
Yeah.
whole idea of the Project Hail Mary, the Hail Mary pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had to, like, make food for him, which I thought
Yeah.
was, like,
And what did they call it? Those burgers? What do they call those burgers?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
They're called
either.
me burgers because they're out of synthetic cloned cells that they develop over and over to develop proteins. And Ryland Grace calls them me burgers.
Gosh.
But he needs it to live. He needs the proteins to live. It's better than that slurry, that chalky slurry he's having to drink.
He didn't even think there was a chance that he was going to be able to eat, but they literally, like, found a way for him to
Yeah.
be able to live.
Can you imagine humans in our current climate wanting to do that for, I was going to say, an alien that we found?
We wouldn't do it.
I don't know that a lot of humans in our own society want to do that for other humans.
No, we, like, most definitely wouldn't do that for an alien. We'd, like, kill it 100%.
He can get up and work if he wants to eat a me burger. I'm going to get him started.
You're
I'm
trying to
here.
bait me.
This is me. I'm trying to get him started now.
They would probably be like, wow, this alien came here. He can make his own food.
Oh, they'd put him into Rocky Gate or Alcatraz. I did ask a question on this similar tangent that I expected to get more firepower from you all yesterday. But in this analysis of Ryland Grace as an example of, the hero, us, America, is this book really what America in 2025 wants or needs to read? Is this book right for America in 2025? You heard us talk about it. What do you think about it?
Well, first of all, I definitely, as soon as you said that, I started looking around
Oh, yeah? Tell me why. I want to hear this.
because I feel like just in our classroom, we have, like, a lot of, like, strong, like, bold personalities, like, and I feel like we have, like, two extreme sides, and sometimes those sides don't want to hear out the other side, even if there's, like, proof, like, hey, this is right. They're like, no, don't believe it. I ain't seeing that. And I just feel like I definitely thought there was going to be some argument there with you about that and be like, no, we don't need that. We love our country. We would be so good. We would save the world. We would do so good about this. Like, that's what I thought they were going to say, but we 100% wouldn't do that. But that's what I thought they were going to say, and it was going to be a big argument. So I was definitely
But they
surprised.
didn't argue, did they?
No, and I was surprised.
They were all good listeners, good participants. I love my country too, even when I'm irritated at it. I love my class, even when I'm irritated at him. I love my daughter, and I want to shake her like 7 times a day. I love my daughter, right? Loving the people in your life doesn't mean you're always satisfied with them.
Yeah.
I think
Sometimes loving people in your life is putting them to sleep and
Yeah.
sending them off on their journey.
and making them do these
Making
things
them
they
do
need
that.
to do.
Yeah.
I know that both of us would say that we have high expectations for our class and their behavior, that we are not the kind of teachers who just let whatever go on in their classroom. And especially in your classroom, if I'm thinking about my things that I do during the day, I expect you guys to reach for the stars. Like, this is not just a coasting kind of thing. You don't get to sit in here and just not do work or not do anything. You got to do more than that. You got to reach for the stars. You guys had to jump through hoops just to get in the classroom, right? Like, I expect way more out of you all. So even if I'm not happy with your performance on things, I can still love this class and want the best for you all. Do you think this book was appropriate for this polarized class where half thinks one thing and half thinks the other?
No, I think it was a good book for this class. Even if they didn't see it the way that it was meant to be seen, I still think there was times when it was like, oh, hey, this kind of relates back to sometimes the way that I treat people that feel or see things differently than me. Maybe I should look at it from the way they see it and maybe not treat them so harshly about it.
Yeah. Compared to our summer reading, this or our summer reading?
I like this a lot better, and I thought I was going to hate this book, but the whole time during this book, I was stressed.
Really?
Yes, like the first chapter, like when he woke up next to dead bodies, count me out the first chapter. I would have been gone if that was me. So I like this one a lot better.
When you're holding the two, weighing them in scale against each other, why does this one leave such a bigger impact than Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow?
Well, I felt like there was like little things in Tomorrow, like we could like relate to it through our lives because it was kind of like a normal setting and it dealt with like normal stuff like losing people. But this book, I felt like it was deeper because it related to like you have to see things differently sometimes. Like you have to make sacrifices, like even if you don't want to. That's just the way life goes and you have to either die or deal with it.
That's going to be our new slogan in journalism. Die or deal with it.
Do your pages.
He's going to hang it up.
Die or do your pages.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that. I did.
Oh, you're so welcome.
But I'm going to take all the credit for it because you know that class.
Oh, yeah.
I'm number one.
Yeah, we know.
What did I literally say in class today? Lainey made a great comment. I was like, ooh. And I was writing it down and I said, I'm stealing that. That's mine now. Mine. When I write it on my professionalism this year, I'm going to say, quote, Jason Crockett.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to remind them that I told them one time, do the best you can so I can win some awards. It looks better on my resume.
Papa needs you to land this, so let's do it. Let's bring him a win.
Yeah. Are there anything you can connect? But I've not. Okay, first off, let me ask you this question because we got to get back to class.
Okay.
I've not read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. He's given it to me. Mm-hmm. Should I read it?
I mean...
She's looking at me like I'm going to lash out at her if I don't say something.
Okay, it's a good book, okay? And I feel like I got some stuff out of it, but I feel like you have to like, which I know you'll do this, you kind of have to like analyze it to get stuff out of it. Like if you just read it like chill, comfortable read, you're not going to get.
That's good to hear.
You don't think you can just casually read this book and just appreciate it on the surface level story? You don't think?
Oh, this book I feel
like Tomorrow and Tomorrow. You don't think?
Oh, no.
You wouldn't have?
Because I felt like there's like a lot of stuff in the book that the bigger meaning can get drowned in. Like that you can't, like you have to like, not really look for it, but if you aren't looking for it, you won't see it.
Would you like to hear Crockett and I talk about that book?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put it on the production schedule.
It's going to be on there now.
Perfect.
What are some things? What are some commonalities that you saw between the two, as far as like you keep referring back to deeper meanings and things like that? What are some commonalities between the two that you can connect the two with?
Well, a big thing I feel like is they were both just ordinary people.
Okay.
Like they didn't expect like something major to happen to them, and like none of us expect something major to happen to us. I mean, like it could, but we don't expect to walk out of school today and like get ran over by a semi truck and like become paralyzed or something, like you know what I mean? And then like all of a sudden things just like started happening to them like out of nowhere, and it completely changed their lives, and they're like, no, I can't do this, like I don't know how to go on with my life. I've never dealt with something like this before.
Well, what was the value for you in reading these books? Do you follow my question?
Well, I felt both books just made me see things differently. Like in the first book, it had like 3 different main characters, and they all had different problems. Like with Sadie, even though she got on my nerves like so much, her sister had cancer, and she was like, Mom, pay attention to me.
Yeah.
Which I kind of felt bad for her, but like if I just look at it on the surface, it's like, wow, you're trash. Like your sister has cancer. But then again, it's like, this is a little girl, and neither of her parents will pay any attention to her. And she can't get love from anyone because they're so consumed by what's going on with her sister. Or when we looked at the guy, and I still say his name wrong, but Marks. Oh, okay. They thought he had everything. Sam did. He was like, this is this rich guy. He's like handsome. He does all these plays. And then we look at Marks, and he's like, I just want to be seen for more. Like, I want to be seen for what I think in my brain. I want to be more than that.
Yeah. That's good, Maylee. Maylee read the books.
Yeah, she definitely did.
Good job, Maylee.
Full cred.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good job.
I know you told me that when you listened to that podcast.
What? Don't expose me here on air.
Oh, I knew it while sitting with you recording the podcast. I could tell. Well, this was a good episode. This is a 100. This is what a 100 looks like when you don't need Drew Haston to feed you what your book is about. This is good.
Oh,
You just stop yapping.
yapping.
Do you even listen to my podcast?
She doesn't even listen to her own podcast in here.
No, I listened to it and it made me cringe. I hate the sound of my own voice. Like
I hate hearing
when
how
you
I
say
yap.
something in a video and then you hear it and it's like I have that bad of an accent, or it's like my voice is that.
You have a
But do
great
you-
accent.
Hey,
you
do
have a
you-
great voice.
In all seriousness, it is cringe to listen to yourself. I listen to my podcast a lot, and you said one day you were listening to your podcast and someone was like, ego much. But it has helped me become a better speaker because I listen and I say, ooh, real twangy there, Drew. Which at home, I'm just going to let it rip. But if I
Yeah.
get up in front of people, I'm going to try to like contain that a little bit. And it keeps me in mind because I told Crockett, anytime I say, he's supposed to reach across and slap me.
And mine is, oh, or okay,
Yeah.
or and.
Yeah, and
It.
You say "and" a lot in class.
I know, right?
and at the,
Wait, you did this thing one day, and me and Maddie still do it to this day because it's the funniest thing ever. You said every day when I was in college, I would eat a pack of you were talking about,
the Totino's pizza.
and you went, and me and Maddie still do that to this day. We'll look at each other and go,
yes.
That's not good? Question?
Question.
That's not good? Question?
Say
Or they
thank you.
start-
Wait, say thank you as Rocky. Go.
thank you.
Wrong. He doesn't say it like
It
that.
would be like this.
She didn't read the book.
I read the book, but how am I supposed to say it like that?
He literally just did it for you.
Because remember, it's like music notes. You got to do the jazz.
You're AI.
Well, erase this episode.
Well, there went that 100.
zeros.
Now, you got to do a bit now for the end of the episode, encouraging people to go listen to a Deadman's books and with honors, give it a 5-star rating.
And if you rate my podcast 5 stars, I'll give you bonus points.
Guys, let me tell you, go listen to a Dead Man's books. It's really good. Go like and subscribe.
And with honors, because that's your show.
And with honors, because I'm on that one. And so it's obviously amazing.
Hey everyone, my name is Drew, and I want to talk to you about my show, A Dead Man's Books. The show was created with the mindset of whenever I pass away, as morbidly as that sounds, that my children would inherit my books. And of all the things that I'm going to pass down to them, I think that that's the one thing that I want them to make sure that they keep and go through on their own time. But I want to be there next to them whenever they read these things. And so I created a podcast so that they could go back and listen to me and my friends and other people as we read through these books and what we had to think about it. But it's grown to so much more. We've got authors we interview. We talk about everyday life. We talk about how literature connects to life. All of those things in one place. And now we want you to come along with us and join us. This is a podcast not just for my kids, but for everyone who loves to read, everyone who loves a good story, everyone who's a parent, everyone who's a teacher, everyone who just enjoys literature. This is a place to come. So come join us every Monday on A Dead Man's Books.